Hi guys, in this tutorial we will learn about display property. Okay, and we'll cover most of the display property like display none, block, inline block, inline, table, table cell. Okay, and flex and inline flex also, but we will cover this flex and inline flex property in later videos. Basically, I'll create a tutorial on flexbox. In that, basically, I will cover this flex and inline flex. For now, I will give you a brief introduction about the flex and inline flex. Okay, so basically, you just keep in mind these are CSS3 properties. Okay, then let's start with the first property, which is display none. As in last video, I told you about visibility hidden, which is used to disappear some content or some element from the screen. So in the same way, display none is used. So the major differences in display none and visibility hidden is in display none, your content is goes outside the DOM. It won't resist in your DOM. Okay, so let's see how it works. Reload. Okay, so guys, we will apply CSS on this container. This is box wrapper. Okay, so let's apply display none on this and let's see what happens. Display none. Just remove this visible property. Okay, just reload. Here you can see that box wrapper gone, and and it does not acquire the space as well. Okay, if when you apply when you applied visibility hidden, in that case it acquired the space, but in this case the space is not acquired. Okay, so yeah, so next property is display block. Okay, so display block is basically, yeah, your div, paragraph, h1 elements. Okay, these are basically your block elements. Block elements are basically the element which starts from a new line. Okay, and it acquire full width. So those are basically block elements. Okay, let me show you. So this box wrapper is a div. So as you can see, it acquired 100% width. Okay, as and in this container basically we have added uh, 1170 width, and it's in center, so our container size is 1170. Okay, so that's why this box wrapper acquired full width, which is 1170. Okay, so we have added padding margin over this 20 pixel. So 20 pixel from each side is 40. Okay, and if you subtract 40 from 1170 is 1130. Okay, and here you can see on screen 1130 is width and 120 is height of this container. Okay, fine, so let's move ahead. In the same way, div, here paragraph also, you can see paragraph also acquire 100% of width. Okay, and h1 h2 all elements acquire 100% of it. Let me show you. I have added p here. If I add h1, hello, h2, h3. Okay, resize, reload. Yeah, here you can see all these three comes into a new line, h1, h2 and h3. It acquired 100% width. Content is not that much, but still it acquired 100% width. Okay guys, so these are block elements. Okay, so next property is inline block. Inline block, so friends, inline block is basically, in inline block, it always not it's not start with the new line. Okay, inline block is basically used to horizontally align your content. Let's suppose you have menu items, so you can align it horizontally using inline block property. Let me show you how you can do that. Okay, so let's create some menu, ul. Okay, li. In this li, let's take an anchor tag if you want to add a link. So in that case, suppose home, just copy paste it. Yeah, let's take it home, about us, services, contact. Okay, let's give the class is menu, save, reload. Here you can say menu comes here. So if you for now, let me comment out this section so that it can visible properly. Yeah, here you can see menu items. Okay, to align it, what we can do is this is menu is the class name. So let's let me come not okay. Yeah, now here I will add the CSS dot menu. In menu I'll add menu li, all menu and li selector. Li means all the child of this menu of this menu parent. On all these li's, basically the property which I will apply here will impose on all these li's. Okay, so I'll add display inline block. See, reload. Here you can see all these li's comes into one line. Okay, and property which is added is inline block on all the li's. Okay, so to make it better, what you can do is dot menu li, just give the color to this anchor tag also. Color, let's suppose you want to give color 444. Here, reload. Here you can see name changed, text decoration none, as by default underline was added. Basically on the all the anchor text underline added, and the default color is blue for all anchor element. So you have to set it according to your requirement. Fine. So let me add the font family also. So let's add it in body, font family, Arial. If I added font family in body, it will take to the entire site. Basically from everywhere on every element, font family will be inherited by body. Okay, so I have added this font family to body. Okay, and this anchor tag and all p and h, whatever tag we'll use now, it will get the font family from body. It will inherit basically. Okay, so if I want a background color on each background color, hash EEE, which is light gray, and add padding, some padding on it, padding 1 pixel, suppose, say, okay. Yeah, here you can see add border radius on it 4 pixel, and let's make it a little bit more gray, a little bit darker. So in that case you can see. Yeah. Color, let's add it black. Okay, now it's darker, and you can give some margin right, 10 pixel. Okay, so it's separated, and some padding is by default added to UL element. So if you want to remove the padding, so what you can do is padding 0, save, reload. Yeah, here you can see all the padding is removed, and let's give some margin from top and bottom to this margin 20 pixel and 0. 20 pixel will be horizontal, will be vertical, basically from top and bottom, and 0 will be from horizontal. basically from right and left its margin would be 0, and from top and bottom it will individually take 50 pixel. If I write it in complete shorthand, so it will be 50 pixel and 0. So this is from top, then right, then bottom, and then left. Okay, that I explained in my previous videos also. Save, reload. Okay, so here you can see this navigation is added. This is aligned basically using inline block. Okay, so this UL is basically your block element. Okay, it acquired 100% space, 100% of width, and after that this this li I have applied inline block here. Okay, if I remove this inline block, okay, these all LIs are basically block element. By default these are block element, but intentionally we added inline block property to it so that it can work as an inline block element. Okay, so hope you understand about the inline block, and hope you understand the difference in inline and inline block also. Okay, so let's move to the next property. Next is inline. So friends, inline property basically used to add some behavior in, suppose there is a paragraph, okay, and in between some text, you want to change the color or you want to change the behavior of some text. So in that case, you can wrap that text into a span element and you can add behavior to on that span element. Basically, you can add class or ID on that span and you can apply CSS on that element. Let me show you how you can do that. Let's suppose I'm adding a paragraph. Okay, after this UL, let me add a paragraph. Okay, here I'll add same dummy content. Okay, in this dummy content, from this span, let's copy it from here, Control X, paste. Let's suppose, yeah, you can see this paragraph is printed here. Okay, and I have added a span. I have wrapped this text, basically, yeah, this text into a span element. Okay, now we can add behavior to this span. Let me show you how you can do that. You can directly add style over here, or otherwise you can add class and ID, and you can apply CSS on that class and ID as well. Suppose I'm adding color red to it. Save, reload. Yeah, you can see this color has been added to this. So suppose you want to make it underline also, or text decoration underline. Okay, yeah, it's red and underline. Fine. So anchor is also a inline element. So if you add anchor here, so it will also work in the same way, and default color will be blue, and there will be underline as default property of anchor. Okay, so let's so friends, one more the major difference between inline and inline block is you cannot give top and bottom margin and padding to inline element, but you can set in inline block. Again, let me tell you, in inline block element you can give margin top and margin bottom. Okay, and padding top and padding bottom as well. But if you come for inline, in inline elements you cannot give margin top and margin bottom, and padding top and padding bottom. Okay, and other than this, this was the first difference, and second difference is, for inline element you cannot set its width and height. Okay, but inline block you can set its width and height. uh, okay, okay, and span element do not start with the new line. So this is the difference between inline and block element. Okay, and it do not acquire 100% width. Fine. So yeah, let me write it also, so that uh, for uh, block element start with new line, and start with new line is first, start with new line. This is first, and second is acquire 100% width. Okay, second is inline block. Do not, let's see. Okay, so can add width, can set width and height, can adjust vertical margin and padding. Okay, so in this inline block, used to align elements horizontally. Okay, next come to inline. For inline element, do not set vertical margin padding. Other is uh, do not set width and height. So friends, this is the major difference between this inline block and inline element. So this is the interview question as well. So hope you understand it. Okay, this is very important in CSS. Okay, so let's move ahead. Next is table and table cell. Table is basically used to if we add a display table to our wrapper, so in that case your that element, basically your that wrapper will work as a table. Okay, so and if you add in a table cell to a element, so in that case it will work as a cell of your table. So like we have already understand about the table, how we can add table, how its property work, table property. So if you want to vertically if you want to align some element vertically center, so in that case you can add property vertical align middle. Okay, so in that case your element will be center in vertically centered vertically. Okay, so let me show you how you can do that. Let's say I'm taking a div. Okay, and I'm taking a paragraph. Let's not take, yeah, okay, let's take another div. Let's take let's lorem ipsum. Okay, class uh, table table okay, let's no table is basically we can conflict with other classes also. Table example, let's, okay, and give them this table child. Okay, so for this table example what we can do, dot table example. So first of all let's see this. Okay, let's comment it out, reload. Yeah, here you can see the this lorem ipsum comes into this table example. Okay, if I'm giving this table example height 100 pixel, width 200 pixel, save, reload, and let's give border also so that it can be displayed easily. The border 1 pixel, solid black, with padding also, padding 10 pixel, so it can appear little cleaner. Yeah, here you can see this lorem if some text comes into the this table example, okay, and it is top aligned for now, so by default element is aligned from top. So uh, let's if we want this text basically center line from top, from horizontally and vertically, what we can do is we can just text align center. From this it comes in center horizontally, okay, but if you want it vertically center also, so for that what you can do is to its child, what is the name of table child of class, uh, dot table child, add display table cell, okay. Here you can apply vertical line middle, save, reload. Tables and display tables and okay. For this you do not need this, what, display, okay. Okay, we have not added display table, okay, yeah. We did not added a display table to its parent, okay. Now we have added display parent to its parent, okay. Display table is added here and its child is display table cell, and we applied a vertical align middle. So this content is centered of in the box, okay. For vertical center we have used display table cell and vertical align middle property, and for horizontal center we have used uh, text align center, okay. So hence you can use this display table and display table cell properties, okay. For these things, for these alignment, display flex is basically made it simpler. So when we cover a flex box, so in that flex box we will discuss about these two properties, display flex and display inline flex. So let me introduce about this flex and this inline flex is, so if you uh, let me give you the example how you can, how easily you can align these element vertically and horizontally center using flex property. So you do not need display table and all this display table cell, okay. What you just need to do is give display flex, okay, justify content center, align items center, reload. Here you can see this this is in center, this content is in center using just these three properties only, fine. So let me show you, if I remove this these three property, save, okay, your content goes on the top, and you are just because of I have commented this, yeah. Now it's top left corner, okay. If you want to center center it vertically and horizontally, just four property needs to be added, and actually this text line center is also not required, reload here, okay. This justify content center, basically center align it horizontally and align item center align it center vertically, okay. And this display flex to make this box flex, okay. So this friends, this flex property is very useful, and there are many other advantages of all of using flex, so which we will cover in when we will create a flexbox tutorial, okay. So for now I have showed you why how we can use this flex property, okay, and how it can reduce the work. And friends, please remember this flex is css 3 css version 3 property, fine. So we have covered most of the properties in display, okay. So let's continue in next video. That's all for this video. Okay, friends, bye bye.